Three Lions TV. We are sponsored by Regal Elevators and Lifts Consultants Limited for the entire Euro 3 Lions campaign. This is your preview show. We're going to look ahead to tomorrow night's game against the Czech Republic at Wembley. The last game in Group D. The Czechs currently top the group. Can we pip them at the post? It's probably not a good idea. And I'll get into why that is shortly. But before I move on to the preview, I'm going to very quickly go over the Scotland game. Don't worry, it's not going to last long because I keep seeing the highlights pop up and every time I'm like, oh, fuck off and turn it off. I just want to say that the full-time reaction I put out was possibly one of the worst videos I've ever done. I watched it back and it was just, I just given up. So I do apologise for that. It was 2.5 minutes of just like, I didn't really cover the game at all. I should have done a post-match, but I just didn't have it in me. Regal Elevators, Kev Toomey, our wonderful sponsor, he actually did he can be a little bit off the cuff sometimes, a little bit crazy, but he did a very good full-time reaction and his process and his thoughts on that game. So check out Kerry, did a very good video and analysed the game very well. So I mean, there's so much I could say about that. So much I could say. On reflection, I expected us to have, at this stage, what we've got, which is 4 points from 2 games. So all is not lost. I don't think it was the result as such. I think it was the performance and the lack of interest in going forward and the lack of ideas. And then we've got this thing where it's the same substitutions. I didn't agree with taking Kane off in the first game. I agreed with taking Kane off in the second game. He doesn't look fit. He doesn't look right. So you've got players on the bench there. Bringing on Marcus Rashford when you've got Dominic Calvert-Lewin sitting there, absolute bags of goals in him. Change it up a little bit. It's a little bit samey, like a little bit Neil Harrisy with your substitutions, Gaffer. Like change something up, like the central midfielders, Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice. For me, that was where we didn't have anything in the midfield, and the only things we was trying to do was in wide areas. Foden found it frustrating. Sterling did as well, and with Sterling, I see the video going around about Sterling where the bloke's going, just fucking pass it to Reece James, pass it. He's on side. I didn't mind what Sterling did there for 2 reasons. Firstly, because he was trying to take a bit of responsibility. He wanted to be the one that says, you know what, I'm not going to just pass it 2 yards and stand on the spot and be afraid to try and unlock a door and knock a ball and get beyond people and try and make things happen. He did that, so I didn't mind it. The other reason I didn't mind it was Reece James was terrible in the game and hit the first man with his crosses about 15 times. So that's probably why Sterling didn't pass it to him. The fullbacks changing. What I didn't think Walker was any good was a random one. Again, taking Trippier out, who's had good experience of the 2018 Russia campaign. There was no experience. And getting back to the central midfielders, short story long, it didn't work for them at all. Declan Rice doesn't do anything for me. He's like a fatter. I'm not one at all. A fatter Ryan Woods just sits there, 2-yard pass. He sits on the toes of the back two. Complete waste of a player. We don't need protecting so much against Scotland and against Croatia. Czech Republic could be a different story, but the other central midfielder in this scenario is obviously Calvin Phillips. He didn't affect the game like we thought he would. He's had a world in the first one, so everyone's expecting him to be a world beater. And with the added pressure in the press, if I can say it, I can say this, absolute leave the man alone. And that's probably now an effect on him. Yes, he's a Premier League player, but not long ago he was a Championship player. This now England performance against Croatia would have propelled him to the next level. And typical press from our lot, fucking idiots. On his back, and it's probably affected him. But again, Gareth Southgate didn't change that, did he? He didn't. So someone said something on, I think it was Merv Payne on Twitter. Shout out to Merv Payne. Does a lot of good work, author, etc. He said, it's like, he said, I said it before, it's like putting Gareth Southgate in charge of the England team. It's like putting your nan in charge of your stag do. And we do have an absolute plethora of talent on that bench. You've got Sancho's, lots of goals in the Bundesliga. Wanted by Man United. I ain't seen loads of him, but he's obviously no mug. Calvert-Lewin, you've got loads of players there. And we've got a huge squad, and he's just not really using them. And I think now, okay, you could argue Croatia was a 1-0 win, you couldn't do any more than that. But against Scotland at times, he should have changed the dynamic, not just the clientele. He's just gone like for like in places. He hasn't tried a plan B, he hasn't tried to switch it up. It's clearly not working. Scotland come and did their job. The longer it went on, the more likely they look to win it. The only height you can take from that as well, as I said, is 4 points from 2 games, which is exactly where I expected us to be. I think it just shows if a team like Scotland can come and shut up shop, what chances have you got to try to doing it further down the line in the tournament? I don't think it's going to happen. Friday was just a shambles. It was just nothing. It was just boring, and I'm bored of talking about it. So let's move on to tomorrow's game against the Czechs. So as you can see, the Czechs currently top the group. Are they the surprise package in this tournament? They're definitely the surprise package in this group. I think they've gone under the radar a bit. I think they're a very well organised team with a goal scorer, which always helps. They managed to find him and find ways of scoring. He scored a worldie, he scored a header, he scored a penalty. Of course, I'm talking about Patrick Schick. 3 goals in 2 games. 2 against the Scots and 1 last time out when he drew 1-1 against Croatia. As I said, sees the Czechs top the group. Looking at the tournament as a whole, I can't see past the final 4 at the minute being Italy, Belgium, France and Germany. On those 4, I think it's looking like a Belgium-Italy final, but the Belgians always shit out and Italy may or may not get it. I think you can't never back against the Germans or the French. I think it's, in my opinion, I think at this point, looking at it, I think it's going to be a Germany-Italy final. But can we affect that? No, I don't think we can. I wasn't confident going into this tournament, and I'm definitely not confident after Friday's showing. So let's look at the possible. Well, I'll see what I'll do first of all. I'm going to give you a prediction. My prediction is it's going to be 1-1. We're going to say a 1-1 draw away. We'll finally concede, but we'll get another one on the board. Goal-wise, we can't see we're going to... We've got all this talent. Again, I'm digging Millwall out. Oh, we can't score no goals. Look at the talent on show there on Friday. We never looked like scoring other than the John Stones header, and I haven't covered that, by the way. Put it in the comments because I've thought about it a lot. Was it very unlucky? It was very unlucky. It's the inside of the post. Great body shape, but he should be scoring, shouldn't he? I don't know. I still can't make my mind up, so let me know in the comments on that one. But getting back to tomorrow's game, let's take a look at the possibilities of where we want to finish in the group. Okay, I'm going to put it on the screen now because it made me go a little bit cross-eyed trying to work all this out earlier, and the hangover I've got from yesterday didn't definitely help my cause. So here it is on the screen right now. Let me take you through it. If we finish 3rd in the group, which is of course a possibility, then we play the winner of Group C, which is Italy, in Budapest on the 27th, which is this coming Sunday. That means we're going home early in the round of 16, in my opinion. If we finish 2nd in the group, then on Monday the 28th, we play the Group E runner-up in Copenhagen, which is currently Slovakia. Okay, it could be Spain. Sweden currently top the group. I don't think it's going to be Spain. I think they've shit out Spain. I think their era has come to an end and they're not the team they once was. So I don't think it's going to be Spain. I think it's more than likely going to be Slovakia. So I'd take that all day long. So if we win the group, we play on the 29th, the runner-up of Group F at Wembley. Now the Group F is otherwise known as the Group of Death. Here it is. France, Germany, Portugal, and Hungary. I've got a little bit of an affection for the Hungarians, by the way, in a minute. I think it's the full stadium and the togetherness, win, lose or draw. They're just absolutely loving it, and they're putting a good performance against the French. And I'll be honest, look at that 4 right there. I think any 4 of them could beat us, which doesn't sound brilliant or overconfident for me, does it? But it is what it is, and I wasn't that confident coming into this tournament. Yes, we got, as I said, exciting young talent, lots of it, but not a lot of experience in the team. And I think I've not done too bad. My predictions said experience is key in the first game, and I was right. Raheem Sterling scored, and this time around I said it'll be a lot tighter than you think. Someone in the comments said that's what she said, but I was right. It was 0-0. So I just can't see us. I don't want to win the group basically, because if we get anyone from that group, as I just said, I think we'll get knocked out. So I don't want anyone from that group. And this is the argument now. What's it called? Catch 22, is it? My head's not with us today, sorry. Catch 22? Sounds about right. So people say, well, you've got to beat the best to win the tournament. I agree with that. However, reflecting back, which I always love to do, Euro 96, okay? We limped through the group, Euro 96. Wasn't fantastic. Drew our first game, did we? Can't remember. Yeah, I think we drew our first game against Tunisia. Beat the Scots. We limped through the group anyway. I can't really remember. It's a fucking long time ago, 25 years. So, once again, short story, extremely long. I'm babbling a bit today. I do apologise. We got through the group. Round 2, absolutely set alight. Took the Dutch to the cleanest 4-1. And, of course, in the quarters, we go on to beat Spain with David Seaman becoming hero at that. And, of course, Stuart Pearce getting a bit of redemption. There he is. Beautiful. Beautiful, Pearcey. But I don't think that we would have beat Spain if we had played Spain in the round of 16. I think we needed that win over the Dutch to get to the point of getting Spain to penalties and knocking them out. So I think we need to build a bit of momentum. I don't think we're going to do that against the Czechs. So I think if we can limp through against the Czechs, and I think we will draw the game, play against Slovakia, try and put a couple past them and get things going again. I was working in Tunisia randomly when I used to be a hard metal Rupert Coppersmith charlatan. Call it what you like. I'm really going into life stories today, but I'm going to leave it in, fuck it. And the reason being, it is relevant. 2002 Tunisia World Cup, David Beckham scores against Argentina. The game after that, I can't remember what game it was. It was around the 16. Did we beat Denmark like 3-0? And again, that gave us a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence. So I think I definitely wouldn't complain. As long as the performance is good, if we drew the game against the Czech Republic, it will be very interesting to see which team he picks. But, drop Kane out. Play Calvert-Lewin. I know he's a skipper. Is Maguire fit? Is Henderson fit? Have we been unlucky with injuries? I don't know. All I'm saying is just don't lose against the Czech. So he could maybe, well, actually, I'll say change it up. He doesn't need to. Just go and be super Gareth, super ultra defensive, and we won't go and try and win the game. We'll just try and consolidate and scrape through the group. But I definitely think that's in our best interest. But that is up for debate. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Would you rather win the group because you've got to beat the best to win the tournament, or would you rather try and get in through the back door and shit house your way to Euro 2020 final? So that is your lot for this preview show / my life story about working in Tunisia in 2002. Not even sure how we got there, but we got there. I'll be live streaming right here in Lions TV Towers for the final Group D game against the Czech Republic. Come join me. Please subscribe to Free Lions TV. Come on, the Free Lions.